How will things evolve in Venezuela? This will be done from the perspective of the sovereignty of the Venezuelan people, because we believe that the people are the subjects of history, but with an understanding of what is happening, and that is the obligation of the ruling class. The new international order will also build its international law. This law that governed was the law of globalization. Now another one governs. There have been situations Argentine people have to understand from this new order and how it builds its institutions based on the national internet. And this must be understood within that framework. And everything else is a situation. That does not give hope to the people. Argentina has been filled with statements lamenting the situation, and there are no statements on how to proceed. Continuing implies that we have to regain hegemony in the South Atlantic. We have to defend our territorial integrity, which is not threatened by statements from elected presidents, in this case the Chilean president. He will do it, and depending on the circumstances, the first circumstance is that it will fail in economic terms, it will not be successful. Boric will not be successful in economic terms, Cass will not be successful. One is social democratic, the other is neoliberal. It is the same economy, it will not be successful. And so in the face of failure, we do not need to explain, other exit schemes are sought. It is a hypothesis, it is a hypothesis. We will see the failure, we will see the failure. And then, policy has to move forward and understand that this is a situation. And on the other side are the British with their strategic defense agreement with the Chilean government, not with the Chilean people, with the Chilean government. And the only thing between Great Britain and Chile is Argentine Patagonia. And so, look, guys, reality also defines action. Happening in the world in order for it to be successful. Is there a possible economic scheme to be successful? Yes. The one we and or so colleagues. It even defines how the debt is paid. Now, there is no possibility of having work for everything if it is not reindustrialized. And that is not by buying Chinese manufacturing, it is by producing manufacturing. Want an autarchic economy. That world today facilitates reindustrialization and makes it easier. And this implies going back to the Alaska meeting between Trump and Putin. There are some colleagues who think that the axis is China, Russia, and there are others who think that it is the Trump-Putin axis. There is historical evidence to suggest that this axis would seem correct, and there is short-term evidence to suggest that it could be Putin's China, but it seems to me that things are moving in the direction of the alliance defined many years ago based on energy between Russia and the United States. When we said that the big loser was going to be Europe, led by Germany, there it is. What is missing is China, because now comes. The final decision is where China is going to get its energy and food supplies. And food has a lot to do with China, and in that situation, we have to remember the Reagan blockade of the Soviet Union, and Argentina violated it, but when it violated it during the Videla and Martinez de Bosch administration, the Argentine port was a fishing port and now it is a large military base that they are also expanding. So that could greatly complicate production in the core area of the Pampas, and without a doubt, let's think about it, but then rural society also has to think about it, and rural society has to think about it, and so all these stories have to be rethought. Statements coming out of international law assume that globalization is still in force, and the reality is that there are others who think that the decision maker builds his own law. It is studied in college and it is studied in college. How do we give the Argentine people hope in this reality? Those who imagine themselves resisting in the mountains, well, that's it. I let them think that the mountains exist and that there is resistance in the mountains. To whom? I don't know, but there are some statements that of that story of resisting in the mountains. There will be no resistance in the mountains in Venezuela or in the jungle because there will be no invasion either. Zaleski also won with his law. He destroyed the country because the ruling class did not understand or the political diligence of how he came into the world, and he thought that international law would exist and he lost the country. The Russians keep part of it, the Americans keep part of it. Leaders have an obligation to understand that pro-Chinese leaders and pro-Chinese leaders should explain why the Chinese are now taking care of their market, right? Well, it's the meat market and, in reality, it's about food security for the Chinese, no kidding. I mean, if the Japanese take care of their rice production for food security, but if we don't take care of our manufacturing, it's because we're smart. Come on, guys. And we're increasing the unemployment rate. Come on, guys. The Chinese are adapting. They started with other products too when they banned the export of rare earth elements and created tension in the world. Well, this is what's being discussed and, regarding that, how do we put together our project so that it's a project that takes into account the people and the country, but all of that while understanding the reality? The rest are just speeches, but they're not about seeking power. We're crossing the Rubicon. Yes, it's difficult. It's difficult. The die is cast. The die is cast. And values within the framework of the Peronist movement are designed to ensure that the cause is established in government, not the men or women of the cause. The cause, those who are young and think they are going to go to the mountains to fight there, boy. It is their decision. We are going with the people to build the objectives of the cause. Someday one of our own will say, General Peron, mission accomplished. Yeah,